everybody to the Single and Stilettos Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette. I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Jonathan Aslay, and he's a dating and relationship coach for women at understandmennow.com. And I'm so excited to have him here because honestly, he's one of my favorite guests because not only does he give it to you straight, but it's great for women to get dating advice from a man's point of view. So welcome, Jonathan, to the show.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun, Suzanne.
I know.
I'm grateful, and I got to tell you, the work you do really rocks. I love what you're doing out there and helping women and helping everyone find love, which is so awesome.
I know. Well, we both do that, right?
Exactly.
Well, Jonathan, before we get started into our first topic, why are men commitment phobic? I would love for you to tell our audience just a little bit about your background.
Well, my background's a little different than most. I actually was an insurance broker for 20 years, went through a divorce, and was just turned 40, went through a divorce, and I found myself online dating. So, and I was looking to meet the one. And after, a couple dates, I realized, there's a lot more work to this. And what I mean is the work was me that needed to be worked on, because I just expected to hit a home run after the first date, and I was in for a surprise. But what was happening was I was engaging in conversations with women, talking about dating and relationships, sometimes conversations lasting 2, 3, 4, 5. I even had an 8-hour conversation once.
Oh my God.
And I was just absorbing and listening because I became fascinated with dating and relationships. Mm-hmm. And what was happening then was women would reach out and say, hey, Jonathan, I got this date with this guy on Match.com. Will you check out his profile and tell me what you think? So I check out his profile, give my 2 cents, if you will. Mm-hmm. And they go, he's nothing like you do, but he's nothing like the guy you described. I said, go on the date and tell me what happens. They'd go on the date, car door would close, frantic text message in bold letters, can you talk? And they'd go, Jonathan, he was exactly the way you described. And Suzanne, this wasn't happening once, this was happening over and over and over again. And I realized I had a knack for kind of, recognizing men who were players, who were serial daters, serial monogamists, the nice guys and the bad boy, and the guy looking for you. So I said, you know what, let me write a book about online dating. So I wrote my first ebook called Online Dating Secrets Revealed. Mm-hmm. Put together a website, decided, let me try some coaching just for fun as a hobby. All of a sudden, I'm getting asked to do radio shows, I'm being invited to summits, I'm doing videos, and next thing you know, I'm loving this so much that I, throughout the insurance career that I did for 20 years, became a dating relationship coach for women, and I haven't looked back since.
Awesome. Well, it's true. I think both of us, we really love what we do, and we have a passion for it. So, and it's fun, right?
Oh, total fun. And you get to make your own hours. I mean, there are a lot of benefits to doing it too, but the benefit is really the reward of helping someone attract love, or in my case, it's helping women get over the wrong guy, which happens a lot.
Oh, yeah. So let's just jump into it. So let's talk about men that are commitment phobic. I know. Imagine that. And let's just preface this with not every man is commitment phobic, but I'm sure every woman has dated a man that was commitment phobic and was completely frustrated on how to deal with them. So first, I would love for you to define for our audience, what is a commitment phobic man?
That's such a great question because I think commitment phobic has been overused because I believe every man is capable of commitment. Mm-hmm. Okay. But the real question is, what is the definition of commitment? So when a woman's expectation exceeds what a man is capable of, oftentimes he's labeled emotionally unavailable or commitment phobic.
Right.
And really, I think the question today is, what is commitment? Because it used to be, 50, 100 years ago, the only way a guy could have sex was he'd have to get married, Oh
my God, imagine that.
I know, the courtship process lasted 8 days. They got engaged, they got married the next weekend, and then they got to have their sex, Mm-hmm. And that's changed a lot since then.
Right.
But, commitment means so many different things, and it depends on where you're at in the stage of your life. If you're in your 20s and 30s and you desire to have a family, start a family and build a home, commitment's going to mean a lot, different to someone like that versus someone who's in their, say, 50s or 60s who's had who's been married once or twice and has children and has a home, what does commitment mean to them?
Right.
And I think in the early stages of dating, one of the most important things, and I'm a huge proponent of this, is monogamy.
Okay.
Because that's a level of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to commit that if we have regular sex together, you're not going to sleep with someone else.
Right.
I think that's a fair level of commitment to expect in the early stages of dating. Okay.
Exactly.
But then what's the next levels? Is it, do I have a toothbrush at their place? Do I have extra clothes? Do we spend time with family and friends? I think it's important to define to yourself what this commitment means to you.
I think that's a great point. And I don't know about you, but I hear this a lot from a lot of the women that are my clients, is I'll ask them if the person they're dating they're exclusive with, and they'll go, yeah, I think so. And they kind of just assume, they don't have that conversation. Do you run into that a lot?
Oh my God, that happens so often. And I'm a huge proponent of having having a talk early on in dating. In fact, my beloved, I think it was on our first or second date, said, in a casual conversational way, she says, when I sleep with someone, I'm monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she didn't say, I expect you to be monogamous. She expressed where she was coming from.
Right, because then you decide if you actually want to date her, knowing what her parameters are, right?
Exactly. And I think that's a healthy boundary to express with someone that this is important to me. And look, I'm not a prude here, and I know there are a lot of polyamorous people out there that believe in many loves, which means you can have sex with anyone you want and that sort of thing. But I'm a believer in, having one mate.
Right.
And that is being exclusive sexually. I mean, if nothing else, for disease reasons, but also I think it's important to give your heart to one person at a time and not multiple people at a time. So
you're not the norm then, though, of all men.
Well, okay, so let me talk about that for a second, because look, I'm a guy. I look at other women, and I can have sexual fantasies or desires about another woman.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, intimately, and I'm a guy who's I went out on 300 dates before I met my sweetie. Okay, and that included a lot of sex in between. And when I had sex with a woman I didn't really care about, my heart wasn't in it.
Right.
And you'll find that most men genuinely want to feel an intimate connection.
Right.
When they've kind of gotten over. Now, I said men, right?
Mm-hmm.
I use the word men. There's a big difference between men and boys. Boys, they're looking for self-satisfaction. They're looking for what's in it for them. It's all about them. And when I got through my boy phase, I realized what's most important is connecting with my heart.
Right. So I guess women have to meet a guy that has gone through the boy phase, is now in the man phase, correct?
In one of my books, Unlocking the Male Mind, I have a product called His Hero's Journey to Commitment. And it's really about the evolution of a man going from a boy into becoming a man when it comes to love, relationships, dating, mating, and relating. So I believe that there is a transition that happens from boy to manhood when it comes to love.
Okay. So what should a woman do if she's dating, she starts to figure out she's dating a commitment-phobic guy? Like she's like, God, this guy won't commit to me, but I really like him. What should she do?
Here's the thing. What's the most important thing is ask yourself, what do you want? What does relationship look like to you? What does commitment look like to you? And I'll use me as an example. In relationship, I like to spend 3 or 4 days a week together. And what I mean is, whether it's nights or days or whatnot, but I like to spend regular time. To me, that's important. I'm a guy. I like regular sex too. Okay? So, all right. So if you're in a relationship with a guy who only can give you 1 day a month or 2 days a month or or 1 day a week kind of thing, and you're someone who likes to have quality time and regular, your love language is quality time and touching and that sort of thing,
right?
Then you're going to be in a challenge if his capacity is maybe once or twice, a week when you want something more.
Exactly.
Okay? So be clear on what you want. What does relationship look like to you? What does blending lives look like to you? And here's a huge one. What does blending lives look like to you? And you might say, what is that, Jonathan? Blending lives is the capacity of where two people actually join together. And I say this from a long-term perspective. So you're in a relationship with a guy, you live in New York and he lives in, New Mexico, okay? You've got this long-distance relationship. He's fixed and rigid in his job. You have children and you're fixed and rigid where you're at. But you started this long-distance relationship. You desire to have 4 days a week together. How realistic is it you're going to be able to blend lives?
Right.
Now, let's just say they live an hour and a half from you. The same thing can occur, okay? I use the long distance. Long distance could be someone who lives an hour and a half from you.
Right.
Can you blend lives together?
Mm-hmm.
This is a question you need to ask yourself when you start having feelings for another man.
I think that is a great, great point. Now, when should a woman figure out that it's just time to move on, that it's not working out? Like, what are some signs that she should move on?
The most telltale sign is his actions doesn't match his words. Okay? You need to, tattoo that on your forehead, or put it somewhere on your body.
Exactly. I completely agree, and I tell that to women all the time, because men can say whatever they want, but if they don't follow through with actions, then it doesn't matter what they say. Who cares what they say?
I think it's so important. And I have what I call my 5 C's to a successful relationship. And one of the C's is what I call continuity. Mm-hmm. And continuity is the roots that develop a long-term relationship. So I want you to imagine continuity is 5 fingers to it. And first is emotional connection. Mm-hmm. Next is economic agreement. This is huge. Mm-hmm. Being on the same page and, and how you view money and how you value money.
Right.
Okay. Next is social activities and hobbies. Mm-hmm. When you have social activities and hobbies together, especially if there's something you're passionate about, you're going to develop a root to a long-lasting relationship.
Right.
Okay? Next is huge is family and friends. Do you spend quality time with family and friends? Because relationships that are isolated, especially those ones where they're, I use long distance as the example, but you get together once every other couple weeks, you stay in a hotel room, you have lots of sex, and you go back to your life.
Right.
Okay? Now, I'm not knocking that if that's what you want, but if you say you want something with more serious and meat to it, then you have to spend quality time with family and friends. And lastly, intimacy. Regular intimacy is important for a long-lasting relationship. So if you don't have these roots strongly developed in your relationship, imagine a tree in a hurricane without roots. What's going to happen?
It's going to fall apart.
It's going to fall apart, exactly. It's going to blow over in the wind. And that's what will sustain a long-term relationship. So is he investing? So how do you determine if he's commitment ready versus commitment phobic? Is he investing in these 5 areas that I just mentioned? Emotional connection, or you have economic agreement, social activities and hobbies, family and friends, and lastly, real intimacy.
I love all those tips. And I'm going to add one more, because I think this is really, really important, is ladies, you need to think about, are your needs being met? And if your needs aren't being met and you find that you're completely frustrated all the time with this relationship and that he's not giving you what you want in a relationship, that's also a sign too.
Oh my God, a relationship needs to be a 2-way street, okay? It's not all about him. And interesting enough, a lot of men are labeled narcissists, but really when I say it's all about him, it's all about his problems. Mm-hmm. If you're a nurturing type of woman and you see him as a fix-it project because it's all about his problems, mm-hmm. then and there's not a you there's not a we in this relationship, then you may have to re-examine your relationship and ask yourself, are we a team? Are we a we? Do we look for the win-win, or is it all about him?
That's a great point. Well, these have been some awesome tips. So, Jonathan, tell our audience how they can find you.
Okay, I'm real easy to find. You just go to understandmennow.com and check out my website, join my email community. I give away so many free gifts, from 3 heartbreaking mistakes women make in relationships to how to get any guy to open up. So just click on understandmennow.com.
Great. Well, thanks, Jonathan, for being on the show. And thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Single and Stilettos show. If you like this show, it's available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to get the podcast, you can go to iTunes. And if you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you would like to get our free report on the top 10 secrets on what attracts a man and what turns him off, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.